Welcome to the Lock Sportscast, your weekly source for Locksport news. This is episode 123, recorded October 26, 2022. I'm your host, Charles Grant. And in today's episode, mail carrier's master key picture published. Jail workers warned not to give inmates keys to the facility. Beware of SouthOrd impersonators. Picking time with LadyLocks and Lockheat. New videos, blog posts, products, events, meetups, giveaways, sales, and more. You can subscribe to the audio version of the show on most podcast apps and at the locksportscast.com. You can subscribe to the video version on YouTube, Odyssey, or Apple Podcasts. Links to stories discussed will be in these show notes. You can find full show notes with all of the links at the locksportscast.com. First up, we have a story called Armed Robber Takes Mail Courier's Master Key in Bucktown, part of a growing crime pattern in Chicago. What makes this story especially interesting is that they thought it was a good idea as part of this article to publish a high-resolution, flat-on picture of that master key with the article. It is a pretty good quality picture if somebody wanted to use the picture to duplicate the key. But the article itself highlights a growing trend that we've been covering on this podcast. They say a U.S. Postal Service mail carrier was robbed at gunpoint of his master key while making deliveries in Bucktown on Thursday morning. Just a couple of weeks ago, CPD warned that mail carriers had been robbed of their keys 5 times since August, but those crimes occurred further west. The article says that the 42-year-old mail carrier was confronted by an armed robber when he entered a building. The CPD case report identified the property stolen as a Postal Service master key, also known as an arrow key. The article also reiterates that these keys are being used to steal mail in a part of an organized crime system where they're taking checks out of the mail, washing them, and then cashing them fraudulently. So be careful if you mail checks for any reason. The next article was entitled, Clayton Jail Warns Workers Not to Give Inmates Keys to Facility. This is out of Clayton County, Georgia, it looks like. They say that a memo was sent out to workers of the Clayton County Jail, warning them of inappropriate behavior that won't be tolerated, including giving inmates keys to the jail. It would appear from the memos sent out that there have been quite a few problems with inappropriate conduct from guards interacting with inmates and taking money from them, charging them, and promising to deliver drugs and other contraband. Inappropriate contact between inmates and guards, and also evidently guards giving inmates keys. So that's actually a thing. It also says that some guards have been fired for actions in these types of cases, and it was just a warning to other guards not to repeat those behaviors. Moving on to lock industry news here. This was a screenshot of something sent in by Jeff Moss. And it says, at the second annual AKG Academy Expo, they announced that they will soon merge Midwest Keyless, Locksmith Resource, International Key Supply, and Yellow Key Supply into a new technology platform, creating a single brand. That new brand will be called Key Innovations and will combine the best parts of all 4 brands into one. Not being a locksmith, I'm honestly not familiar with any of this stuff, but it might be of interest to those of you who are locksmiths. And over on Twitter, SouthOrd was putting out notices that you should be aware of SouthOrd impersonators. They say they've recently been made aware that there are companies impersonating them online. They are not authorized SouthOrd dealers. They do not know what they are selling, if they are selling anything at all. SouthOrd.com is the official and only website of SouthOrd brand locksmith tools. To verify authorized SouthOrd dealers, please DM SouthOrd directly or email them at sales@southord.com. I think that goes along with what we've seen from companies like, Lockpick Mall, that are selling knockoffs of other people's picks and tools. They are not specifically branding them, but they are calling them names that will confuse the market. And I don't know if that is at all what this is in reference to, but it is something to be aware of. Either buy directly from the pick manufacturer or verify with the pick manufacturer that they are an authorized seller if you want to get the genuine product. And it was brought to my attention that LadyLocks and Lockheat are doing a series of live streams called Picking Time with LadyLocks and Lockheat. It is a live show where they pick locks and they invite other lock sporters to join in and pick with them live. Might be a fun one. The description says, join LadyLocks and Lockheat as we pick locks. See all the drama unfold live as we try to slay our locks of the day. Join in the discussion and share your tips and tricks to help us get them open. You could even be invited as a guest picker. Stay tuned to find out when and get ready for some fun. Join in and let's pick some locks together. So link to both of their channels will be in the show notes. So you can check those out when you have time. Another interesting one on the video front, Bone in the Box over on Twitter put up a video picking a Dom IX Twin Star one-handed. I found that to be pretty impressive. So if you want to go check that out, there will be a link in the show notes. It's not an easy lock to pick by any means, even with two hands, and to do it with one hand is quite a bit more impressive. So very well done to Bone in the Box. And an interesting video posted from DEF CON 30 was a talk by Bill Graydon, defeating moving elements in high security keys. The description says, a recent trend in high security locks is to add moving element to the key. This prevents casting, 3D printing, and many other forms of unauthorized duplication. Pioneered by the Multi-Lock interactive locks, we see the technique used in recent multi-lock iterations, the Abloy Protect 2, and most recently, the Medico M4, which is only rolling out to customers now. We have identified a major vulnerability in this technology and have developed a number of techniques to unlock these locks using a key made from a solid piece of material, which defeats all of the benefits of the interactive key. I'll demonstrate how it can be applied to Multi-Lock Interactive, Multi-Lock MT5 Plus, and the Medico M4, allowing keys to be duplicated by casting, 3D printing, and more. I'll also cover other techniques to defeat moving elements in a key, such as printing a compliant mechanism and printing a captive element directly. With this talk, we are also releasing a web application for anyone to generate 3D printable files based on this exploit. Finally, I'll discuss the responsible disclosure process and working with the lock manufacturers to patch the vulnerability and mitigate the risk. So that's pretty interesting. A lot of these we knew weren't difficult to defeat if you are picking the lock, but they did appear to make duplicating keys difficult, but apparently not actually the case. Also, it looks like SaintCon 2022, which is in progress right now, has posted a video from day one that has the keynotes, those from Jason E. Street, Stephanie Snow Carruthers, and Deviant Olaf, all included. So be sure to check that out. Law Lock Tools has put out a video called Behind the Scenes at Law Lock Tools. So if you've ever wondered how they go about making their picks, you can check out that video. And it looks like they are having a giveaway associated with that video, so be sure to check that out. And it would appear that one of my favorite electronics channels that I've covered on here before, EEV Blog, and his second channel, EEV Blog 2, Dave has been covering locks more and more on that channel. I think this is a great trend. I love it when my two favorite hobbies combine. So the first video is on the EEV Blog 2, How High Security Safe Key Locks Work. And the description says, a look inside how high security safe key locks work. That is kind of a tongue twister for me. I keep screwing that up. And the pick-resistant features found inside them. The 9-lever Australian-made Ross 700 series pick-resistant lock versus the STUV K-Blox 6-lever lock. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. And yes, a challenge to the lock-picking lawyers included, with a bonus look inside the Ross 1000 series Bluetooth electronic lock. The second video went up on his main channel, and it is The Art of High Security Safe Locks Teardowns. And this is a teardown of 3 high security Ross safe locks So he goes through the Ross 700 series on that one too, and the Ross 1000 Bluetooth lock, as well as the Ross 1000 electronic keypad lock. So I will have links to both of those in the show notes, of course. Over on Steve Leto's channel, Leto's Law, we have a video called Lockpicking Question for the Non-Lockpicking Attorney. And he addresses the legal questions for owners of locks, primarily if a lock declares itself as high security or possibly unpickable, what are the legal implications of that if somebody does pick the lock and get into steal whatever you happen to have? What are their liabilities in making that claim? And it's a really good talk from just a lawyer's unbiased perspective. It's typical of what you would expect from Steve Leto. We have a couple of new blog posts. The first is on Tools Black Bag blog, and it was entitled Continued Work on Miwa Anchor 3800. It's a good overview of how the lock works and also how the magnet elements work. He says he used a magnetometer to decode the magnets in a key in the cylinder and made a 3D model of the key to be able to print it and figure out how to get a master key of a system. Pretty interesting read, so be sure to check that out. And over on Lockpick World, we have an article posted, Yale Lishi style lockpicks for Eurolocks and rim cylinders, the story. And it says, how did we get from the original Lishi key reader to the Yale Lishi style lockpicks we have today? Here's a brief history. I know there were some people that were questioning how effective those Dangerfield Lishi style picks would be for the Yale keyway, since Yale keyways have typically been troublesome for a Lishi style pick. Check it out. Article link will be in the show notes. Moving on to products, we're going to start with a lock this time. The LightLock X is claimed to be the world's most angle grinder resistant U-lock. This lock is apparently being offered in two models, the X1 and the X3. Both incorporate a hardened, fine-grained, high-tensile steel core, which offers protection against lock-cutting elements such as hammers, bolt croppers, long bars, cable cutters, etc. The core also incorporates a unique anti-rotation feature designed to thwart lock twisting attacks, and angle grinder protection is provided by a coating of a patented ceramic composite material. This is applied to the steel core and reportedly causes the angle grinder discs and possibly battery on a battery-powered one to wear out before they can be cut through. There's also an outer coating of a plant-based rubber to reduce rattling and protect the bike surface. They say the X3 is supposed to be 15 times more angle grinder resistant than the current best-selling performing U-locks. It features an Alloy Sentry lock cylinder, and it should be available starting in November at a price of $299.99 US. The already available X1 is said to be 5 times more angle grinder resistant than others and utilizes an Art4 accredited lock mechanism. That's all they say. And it sells for $179.99 US. If you are curious about how they actually stand up to angle grinders, Wayne Witten Locksmith has a video up on his channel. He tests it quite thoroughly with an angle grinder and trying to the twisting attack as compared to a standard U-lock. So I will have links to that in the show notes, as well as an article about the lock. And LockNoob tweeted out this week that he had asked Multipick to put out their Elite turning tools as a separate set. He says, I liked these turning tools so much, I asked Multipick to sell them as a separate set. The description of the set on Multipick's site says, this set would be LockNoob's choice if he were to put together a set from the 52 turners we have in our portfolio. So taking his advice, we have introduced our Multipick Elite Tension Set 3 to the Locksport community. As one would expect, the 16 tensioners are all made out of high-quality steel to provide an excellent feedback during picking due to their flexibility and hardness. The various forms and lengths allow a wide range of opening possibilities and come in a handy, genuine leather case. And it looks like it's a little over $95 US currently. Over at Covert Instruments, Lockpicking Lawyer has released a new upgrade to the Covert Companion, and it's an Atom Right bypass hook. They say this expansion kit for the Covert Companion allows you to open Adams Right style lockpicking hardware by hooking the actuator mechanism and directly unlocking the bolt. There's no need to touch the lock cylinder. This is an absolute must-have bypass tool for any locksmith or entry specialist. And that is currently listed at $40 US on Covert Instruments site. And the Lockpicking Lawyer did also release a video advertising this on his channel. And I'll have links to both the site and the video in the show notes. And over at Red Team Tools, they have a new tool that they put out. Deviant Olaf also released a video announcing these new tools. There are actually two of them, the Glow Rod Plug Follower and the Fuel Rod Best Core Tool. They are both made out of translucent acrylic materials that allow light to get in to the keyway while you're working with it. The plug follower has a nice V-notch at the front, allowing you to easily repin. The combination of those should allow for a much more pleasant pinning experience than most plug followers allow for. They do note that the color may vary because they say sometimes they produce batches of these tools in neon green color when that stock is available, and other times they are produced from a frosted white or clear colored rod. Both will have the same half-inch diameter, making them suitable for Schlage, Kwikset, Sargent, Corbin, Russwin, Yale, and the like. The second product is called the Fuel Rod Best Core Tool. Its primary function is to be able to turn the actuator at the back of a Best when the core has been removed. That can be tricky sometimes, and this just slides in there and will turn the actuator for you. It also, because they had it there, they decided to go ahead and make it into a plug follower on the other end, even though that's not how most people deal with Best cylinders. If you got space to do something, you might as well turn it into a plug follower, right? Anyway, links to his video about these products as well as the products themselves will be in the show notes. And right before recording this video, 3D Locksport sent out an email saying their educational locks are back in stock. They say they're happy to announce that the educational lock and pins are finally back in stock. This is a large form factor demonstration system for demonstrating how lockpicking works to people who are unfamiliar and learning locksmith. If you have a lockpicking group that you are a part of where you train people or introduce people to lockpicking, this would be a great addition. It's a very handy set to have. Has a single pin stack and a core that allows you to demonstrate how the shear line works and how different security pins work. So those are back in stock at 3D Locksport. Moving on to events and meetups taking place right now as I record this is SaintCon 2022. And as I said before, there are some day one, at least, keynotes are posted on YouTube if you want to check those out. B-Sides Charleston takes place on November 19th in Charleston, South Carolina. Pacific Hackers Conference 2022 is November 18th and 19th at the Hacker Dojo in Mountain View, California. Moving on to the Lockpickers United belts, we have one red belt to announce this week that I found. Snazzy has upgraded from brown to red this week, so congratulations to you, Snazzy. And for anyone who is not familiar with the Lockpickers United belt system, there are links in the show notes to the official rules page, as well as some videos and other resources that will explain how the system works and why it is so much fun. Now I'm going to take a quick break, say thank you to people that made this episode possible. Start with the financial supporters. We have Jimmy Longs, Medler, Panda Frog, Michael Gilchrist, Starlock, Williams Brain, Dave 2B Deciphered, Lee Bond's Locksport Journey, Pat from Uncensored Tactical, Three Raccoons and Coat, Terrell, aka Anthony, DoctorHogmaster, Clayton Howard, aka Cooltune, Mog, John Lock, Rat Yoke, Mr. Pricker, Cranky Lockpicker, JHP Picking, Barebones Lockpicking, Deadbolt Cafe, NW Lockpicker, and Snake. Thank you to all of you. Chief content producer for this episode is Terrell, aka Anthony, again. Does so much to support this show. I can't thank him enough. Other content producers, Barebones Lockpicking, Bone in the Box, Dmac, DoctorHogmaster, iFisk, I'm Gumby, Jeff and Things, Jeff Moss, Joshua Gonzalez, Noxlocks, Panda Frog, Picksmith, Snake, The Lockpicker 1969, and Tony Verelli. Thank you to all of you for your support. I really appreciate it. And remember, this show is only possible because of that support. So if you enjoy the show, please help support it by sending in your news, links, events, giveaway information, anything you have or come across that you think could be of interest to the Locksport community or the Locksmith community. Send it in, podcast at thelocksportscast.com or any of the other methods listed in the show notes. Don't forget to share the show with your lockpicking friends. Don't forget to leave a review, comment, thumbs up, whatever the platform you consume this on allows. Subscribe on your favorite platform. And if you want to help financially, you can. PayPal, Patreon, Subscribestar. All of those will be linked in the show notes. If you support the show with a donation or information I use in the show, I will give you credit in the show notes, just like the people you just heard about. If you want to leave feedback, go to locksportscast.com/contact or the email address previously mentioned. Just keep it reasonable length, polite, work family safe, no politics, no drama if you want it to be shared on the show. If you don't want it to be shared on the show, just say so. Moving on to sales, we have a new one here from SouthOrd. They have a new page for cosmetically blemished lockpick tools and accessories, and that is the southord.com/collections/southord-outlet. They also have their sale items page up, and that's southord.com/collections/sale. If you want to save on LadyLocks tools, it looks like the link for 10% off from Review Guru might still be working. So check that out if you're planning on buying directly from LadyLocks tools. Barebones Lockpicking has the code BONES15 for 15% off store-wide except LadyLocks tools, and that is good through the end of October. 3dlocksport.com has 10% off with the code LSCast10. So if you want to pick up your big demonstration lock, you can get 10% off if you use that code at checkout. You can save 15% off with the code BuyMako at Mako Locks. And you can save 10% off with the code GIFT at uklockpickers.co.uk. Giveaways, I forgot to put it in my outline here, but there is the giveaway going along with the LadyLocks tools video, so be sure to check that out. And Multipick is celebrating 25 years in business with a 25-year raffle. They say, over the past 25 years, we have learned a lot, invested a lot, and convinced a lot. We have redefined precision and quality for both ourselves and our customers and have paved our way as a professional manufacturer of opening technology. It is not a matter of course that we are in this position today. Rather, we have achieved it not only because we are a team of dedicated and far-sighted people, but because of your trust, which you have placed in us and our products. For this, we say thank you. For our 25th company jubilee, we would like to celebrate together with you. In addition to many attractive discounts, we have also prepared a very special raffle. Everyone who owns one of our Multipick products can take part in the raffle. 25 exciting prizes are awaiting 25 winners. Here's how you can participate. Take a photo with one of our tools in front of a special backdrop or a special situation, in action or just as is, whether it's a balcony or in New Zealand, be it a selfie or a panorama, above the clouds or under the water, as long as it's extraordinary. Just make us laugh or be amazed and show us your creativity. We look forward to all entries and are excited to see your tool photos. And they have an email link to send the photos in. You have only until October 31st. Sorry for the short notice with this podcast, but I will have a link to that site with the official information in the show notes. The Snake 200 sub giveaway, I believe, is still running. He wasn't clear on an expiration date, and I forgot to check to see when that is, but you can head over to the link in the show notes and check it out. Dmac's 1000 sub giveaway is still running till the 29th of October, so about a couple of days after this podcast goes up. Panda Frog's 2K subscriber giveaway. He is doing a series of 5 different videos. As of yesterday when I checked, it looked like he had a couple of videos up. Links in the show notes. Barebones Lockpicking doing their Barebones Lockpicking Halloween raffle, and that ends on Halloween. Lots of good prizes in that. Be sure to check that out. The Lockpicker 1969 has been doing weekly giveaways since the beginning of September and plans to run them for a full 3 months. So be sure to check out his channel. CLK Supplies has their weekly #LockBoss giveaway. Be sure to check that out if you're into giveaways. They are a locksmith supply company, so they usually have pretty good prizes. And that's it for this episode. Sorry if it was a little late and a little short. I've been really short on time lately with my work schedule. I think it's pretty clear at this time I did not get the job that has the better schedule, and my schedule at my current position may actually get worse before it gets better. We have yet to see. So the episodes might be a little erratic on the release schedule for the next, possibly through the new year. I don't know. But I will keep trying to pump them out when I have time. I may not get into a lot of extra material. I may stick to just the news that is time sensitive and needs to get out, and save the more entertaining stuff that takes a little longer for other episodes later on. Thank you to all of you who stick with me and put up with my erratic release schedule and keep sending in the information. I really appreciate all of the help I've been getting. It really does help a lot, especially when I'm short on time, to be able to just go through my emails and my messages and pull the information out and pop it in a timeline and create a show for everybody else. So thank you very much for all of you who create this show. I couldn't do it without you. Please keep it legal.